So, a bit that confuses me is this bit.
The internet is changing love. By 2030, more than half of us will meet our partners online. However, it's not just the way we meet that's changing, the types of relationships we're in are evolving too. From falling in love with someone we've never met in real life, to having multiple partners at once, I'll be looking at how technology has changed our relationships forever. The first dating website was created in 1995, and now 1 in 5 of us meet our partners online. But what do we do before the internet? Back in the day, it was the norm to meet a potential partner at local social events, like dances.
That's how I met my wife. I met her at a dance. I met her when I was 16. I got married when I was 23. I asked her mother if I could marry her, and she cried her eyes out. I said, "What are you crying with?" She said, "With joy, I'm getting rid of her." I was stop it. I'm joking.
Thanks. I've never done it before, so you have to show me.
Back then, it was more likely you'd meet your partner just down the road, or certainly in the same city. But now more of us are getting into long-distance relationships online, living thousands of miles apart and having never met in real life.
Is that something that you could have imagined when you were a teenager?
No. When you have someone next to you that you can do this.
It's good.
Much better.
It feels good.
That's better.
I enjoyed that. Thank you, Ben.
So, can these long-distance couples, or never-mets as they're called, really work? And do you actually know someone who you've never met in person? I got online to chat to Tiffany and Jake, who were in just that position.
Hi, Tiffany. I'm Alice.
Hi.
Hi, Jake.
Hi.
Hi.
Jake lives in Milton Keynes, and Tiffany lives over 3,000 miles away in Maine in the US. So how did they first meet?
He added me as a friend on a gaming website.
She thought I was a weirdo to start with.
I was very skeptical because, you know, we have this TV show over here called Catfish, and it's kind of scary, so. He sent me a picture of him with, like, his hood up.
That was quite weird.
Like, that was the first picture I'd seen of him, and it's like, oh, okay.
It was cold on that night, though.
What was it? Where was the spark?
It was probably the British accent.
It was not just the British accent. He was very outgoing. He was funny. He was a geeky kind of funny at first.
With Tiffany, I sort of found it easier to talk to her, and then it was like, as soon as we FaceTimed, I just loved everything. I just think she's amazing.
The pair talk for hours every single day, which can be difficult with the time difference and life getting in the way.
3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean is a little intense, and I even said that at first. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, it's just so far, and we just got along really good, and I feel like it's worth it. I mean, it's fun to have someone from a different culture, I guess. You're learning about a different country and learning different things, and it's just interesting.
And after a year of online chats, Tiffany and Jake are finally making plans to meet.
We're planning to go to New York in June.
What are your apprehensions? What are your worries about that day?
It'll be weird because we've never met, really. So I think it would be very nerve-wracking, but I also don't think the nervousness and the shyness or whatever would last very long because we know each other.
What do you think you'll say when you first see her, Jake?
I don't know.
Tiffany, cover your ears for a sec. Cover your ears.
Oh, God.
Okay, Jake, we need to plan this. You can't just say a load of rubbish. Do you think the big, I love you?
Yes, I probably will say that a number of times throughout the whole week.
Okay.
And I wanted to know how the relationship would continue from there.
Is the idea that at some point you'll be in the same place long term?
Yes.
Hopefully.
So I said that a bit quick, didn't I?
And are we thinking it would be Milton Keynes or Maine?
This is another conversation we're going to have because I don't know. I like the idea of going to Maine, but it's so cold.
I have a very large family. I think they would be sad if I left.
It's something we're going to have to discuss.
It sounds like they've got some big and difficult decisions ahead. And obviously being separated by an ocean has its downsides.
I feel very lonely sometimes. Just lonely. There are times when I have bad days and I just want to hug, really. It's hard because we don't have that support for each other physically, but at least we can talk to each other. At least we have that.
That lack of physical affection can be a huge hurdle, but there's a growing market of gadgets to help long-distance couples physically connect. You can hold your partner's hand or even kiss your loved one via the internet. Soon, you may even be able to have sex with your partner over distance. I met Stephanie Alice, co-founder of a company that has created a device for just that purpose.
It's a highly personalisable vibrator. It can bend to take different shapes, and you can make it vibrate any way that you want through an app.
So you can control it, or in theory, somebody else could control it?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what we designed, and then the idea is that you can bend it.
Oh my God. So wait, how do I switch it on?
If you press and release. There you go.
Oh God. We should have a go with the app.
So if I tap here...
Yeah, I like that one. That's really good, Stephanie.
So in the future, it's absolutely possible that you will be able to take this product and your partner will be able to control it through the internet.
If you're really, really far apart, this could be a good way of not losing the physical side of your relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So your partner could basically control the product from thousands of miles away. They say the best way to test the vibrations is to hold it up to your nose.
I mean, this feels like a prank, but okay.
Maybe it is. That's how you test how strong a vibration is.
Making my eyes water. Should it make my eyes water?
Gonna make you sneeze.
Oh my God, that was too strong. You've turned that right up.
I think it's because you only have cartilage in there.
Oh God. It's never made me cry before.
Stephanie showed me another product which takes things one step further.
So you have some kind of vibrator, and then it reacts to a sleeve. So as one person uses one, the other one reacts.
Right.
Over distance. So.
Thank you. What am I putting in there?
So as, for example, I put pressure on different parts of the toy here.
That's so
unusual. You can feel different things.
Yes, I can.
But the key technology here is the concept that you could use both of these products. Two people could use them if they were in completely different places.
I'm not criticising, but it's quite heavy. So if I was a gentleman, am I just like going about my daily activities? A bit that confuses me is this bit. What's this for, Stephanie? It's so sexy. Can that go in the dishwasher, or? I have no idea.
This technology is still in its infancy, so I wanted to know how far it could go in the future.
You could have a full romantic and sexual relationship with someone just through virtual reality. You could pop your headset on and maybe go to the park together, or the cinema, or you could hook your VR up with a particular product and have sex together, all without meeting.
How far off are we from that?
I think we're still quite a few years away.
Are we talking 10 or are we talking 100?
Closer to 10, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So in the future, it could become even easier to be together apart. However, for many, being in the same place is still a dream. I wanted to meet a couple who'd made a success of their long-distance love. I headed to Windsor to meet Megan and Whitney, who were a couple living apart for 4 years before finally living in the same country.
Take me back to when you, not first met, but first started talking.
I found Megan on MySpace, actually, in 2006.
That was a long time ago.
Old school. So I Googled random postcodes in England, and the first one that popped out, I just put it into MySpace and just searched it by sheer, luck. And this beautiful face comes up on the first page.
You just plucked random postcodes out of the air and put them into MySpace.
I know, maybe the algorithm was on my side that day. I mean, call it fate.
It is crazy. But at the time, she was living in Hawaii.
I was living in Hawaii, and that's when our long-distance relationship began.
Because you're a huge success story for long-distance relationships, I feel like. Like, you're poster girls for that. And because it can be so tough, and you can invest a lot of time in it, a lot of money, mental energy, so much.
We probably argue quite a lot because of the distance.
Yeah.
It kind of does drive you a bit insane and crazy, and there was 11 hours time difference, so it wasn't easy just to be able to talk to each other throughout the day. You know, normally when you're together, you just hug and you'd be over it, but when it's online, it's really difficult.
You guys have been talking for something like on off 2.5 years, but then tell me about that day that you met, that first time.
So I was just Ecstatic is an understatement for like what I was feeling. Because I was just a nervous wreck. We had quite a few drinks as well, like, didn't we? And
Dutch cards, yep.
mind you, like, I was not a big drinker at this time. We walked around London all day together, we got to know each other. We really, like, hit it off. And then 2 weeks later, we were official.
Whitney says being apart for so long has only made them appreciate each other more.
We're so, like, attached at the hip now because we went through that for 4 years without having each other.
So we don't like being a day apart. We don't spend like, any time apart. It's pretty bad.
I never get sick of Megan. People are like, oh my gosh, you guys are so attached, you have to get on each other's nerves. But, like, no. I wish there was more time in the day to spend with her.
Whitney and Megan, or Wegan as they're known, have documented their relationship online to show others that long distance can work. However, the journey hasn't always been easy.
When did you decide the way that we're going to do this is for you to move to the UK and obviously have to get a visa to do that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, gay marriage wasn't legal in the States at the time, so me coming to the UK was the only option. And I wanted to come anyway, so it was a win-win.
So you had to provide, like, a big dossier of things that was to prove that you'd been in a relationship?
Yeah. So they want to see, like, communication, they want to see pictures of you together, they want to see...
Facebook messages.
Like, everything.
Even letters from, like, family members to show you're involved in their family. Like, you name it.
This is Whitney to me.
I'm so glad we found each other. My life is so much better with you in it. You've enhanced it more than you will ever know. I think she knows. It's fine.
So we initially applied for a settlement visa, and it got denied. We were devastated.
Whitney has been denied her visa to the UK, and obviously we're really upset, we're really angry. But we'll appeal it, we'll fight it.
We were going to appeal it, but then we cancelled the appeal, and then we're like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to start all over again. It was really stressful, because we were so close. We were nearly there, do you know what I mean? And we got stopped in our tracks. And then we did the big visa with the lawyer.
Which took another year.
It took a year in total. As of today, I can say I'm officially a resident of the UK.
Yay! Go baby! Woo!
Thank you.
And last year, Wegan finally made it official with their civil partnership. Now they're out the other side, what are their tips for making long-distance love work?
You have to, like, have a positive mind, and you're going to have people along the way that say, this is unrealistic, this isn't going to work, but you have to, you know, rise above it and say, this is what I want, and it's going to happen.
A lot of people don't also talk about the fact of what happens after you conquer long distance, because you've got culture differences you actually do have to deal with, and she's in a long-distance relationship with, like, her family and friends.
I conquered one long-distance relationship, but now I'm left in one, you know, with my mother, and she and I are really close, my dad, my friends, my aunts, my whole family. So it's constantly this, like, vicious cycle of you're never going to be, you're always going to be missing someone. You just kind of have to get content with it.
But Wegan wouldn't change the experience they've had.
You know, one of the perks of going down the road of long distance is that it opens your life up to so much opportunity. You know, I'm from a small town in Kentucky, and I meet this girl outside of London, and that just can completely transform, you know, your life. Because not only just you, but, like, everyone connected to you, and you open up so many doors for other people around you.
We're always being told that technology is pushing us further apart, but these long-distance relationships couldn't have happened even 10 years ago. Our quest to find the one can now be worldwide. Can long-distance ever compete with face-to-face connection? Maybe not. But as technology continues to develop, the lines between together and apart are starting to blur.